little lag in the system. Um, how everybody doing this morning? This is going to be a long video because I haven't been posting through the week. I've been very busy. Thank God, business has been increasing. I've been so busy that I didn't get a chance to cut my hair. But this is another word of the day. This is going to probably be a long video. You're probably going to want to look at the playback. So I'm going to try to keep it to 20 or 30 minutes. And I want to upload this to my YouTube channel, which I'm going to link in the description somewhere later on, so you guys can watch the playback, or you can watch the playback on a Facebook channel. Most people do watch the playback of this, but there's a lot of things I want to talk about, and I want to talk about the subject of you have to love yourself and you have to save yourself. I'm going to briefly talk about celebrities. That's not my thing. I don't talk about celebrities. I'm trying not to talk about none of the stuff that goes on in the world because it has nothing to do with us. It really doesn't. I'm trying to get this hat straight. New hat. Celebrities really doesn't have nothing to do with us, because when I talk about the inner self and being your best version of you, I'm talking about you loving yourself. So let me get that celebrity junk out the way. Everybody know what's going on with the Usher situation. Everybody know what's going on with the Bobby Valentino situation. If you don't know, Usher, I think back in 2009, was caught cheating on his wife at the time with the bridesmaid, and the bridesmaid contracted herpes from Usher, allegedly. Not saying that's because we don't know. I'm not in their bedroom. So allegedly they caught herpes from Usher. Now it's a lot of people coming forth trying to sue Usher for allegedly exposing them to herpes. I heard it was two other women and a man, and one of the women is, I don't know her name, but very, very obese woman. And I can say that because I'm losing weight. Like I'm not even gonna call that because I don't speak that. I'm a slim, healthy man, so I'm gonna keep on coming down with my stature. But basically, this woman put herself out there as a groupie for Usher, and she had a whole press conference on it. And a lot of people and a lot of, I guess, women in the Black community are mad because people are fat shaming or, obese shaming this woman, because they're saying this is wrong for them to do that because she put herself out there as being one of the accusers or being one of the people who was exposed. A couple of things is wrong. First and foremost, she is a mother. Whatever she did in her past should be her past. If she had a liaison, and I'm not saying, this is all accusations. Not saying she did or did with Usher. Like I said, I wasn't there. And, if that's what Usher liked, that's what Usher liked. But more than likely, she's probably lying for the fame. My question is, as a mother, as somebody that's responsible for building a nation, and this is not me shaming her at all, but why put yourself out there when you have this recordings will never go away, and you have a kid that's going to be watching this in the future? Don't put yourself out there to be something. You want your kid to look at you as excellence and greatness. So, I'm not going to talk about the weight thing at all, but I'm just going to talk about a couple of things. If this is true, and she wanted to take action against Usher for allegedly exposing her to the disease, she should have been anonymous like everybody else is. No one else is trying to be in the spotlight. She was just trying to be in the spotlight. And I think the spotlight gave her backlash because of her stature and her weight. That's what happened. You have someone known, Usher, as having the most beautiful women in the world. Even if he's allegedly have herpes complex 1 or 2 or not, he's been with Chili. He's been with some of the beautiful, like, gorgeous women in the world. So it's the burden of proof or his history of the women he's been with when we look at this young lady, it don't seem like I said, allegedly, it don't seem like he would be with this one. But like I said, she put herself out there and she has a child. I think that's wrong. You can't just put yourself out there when you have a child. I don't have a child, but also when I make these videos, when I conduct myself in public, when I go out and do my business, I have to conduct myself. And it's not because of the black community, it's because of my last name. Because of my last name, or the so-called last name that was given to me by my parents, I'm going to pass down this last name. So whatever I do, I need my kids to be proud of it. Okay, Tim Lawson did this. And have I made mistakes? Of course I did. Of course I did. I did some shameful stuff. And I tell y'all all the time that when I read this Bible, it's more for me than for anybody, that I am not a perfect person. So I'm not even going to lie to you and say, oh, everything peachy and cream with me. No, I made some mistakes. I made some horrendous mistakes. But I recognize that, and by self-love and correction, like, okay, you did this in the past. You need to be responsible for the future and go on and make your name great. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm teaching. I'm trying to get this hat right. That's what I'm teaching everybody to do. I don't know what's up with it. It's not crooked. It looks crooked. But going back to the woman, she says, forget me. I don't have no cut. So going back to the woman, basically, she's accusing Usher of exposing her to the disease. And she also said that she went backstage with him, first day of meeting Usher, had the contest. And I'm like, hey, look, I'm not saying whatever you want to do, you can do. But the point is that if you're a mother, you don't want that information out. Like, you got to look at the long run. And I don't think she did. She's looking for the short-term fame, which made her infamous because of her weight, but she did not see the long run. And there's a lot of people be like, oh, they shouldn't fat shame her and stuff like that. But the blame have to be on the person. If you put yourself out there like that, then you're going to be subject to all sorts of ridicule. That's what, and I'm just going back to the celebrities. Like, if you're a celebrity, and like I said, I'm not shaming Bobby Valentino or whatever these people do in their personal lives don't have nothing to do with me. They make good music. I still think they make good music, but whatever they do in their personal lives don't have nothing to do with me. But when you in that public spotlight and the camera and the focus is on you, it's going to be amplified even more. It's going to be amplified even more. So with this woman, yes, she is going to be, people going to look at it. Like, if you say you slept with Usher, and Usher has a history of sleeping with, physically fit women, of course, this woman is going to be ridiculed because of her weight, because her Usher in the past didn't show a pattern of dating women like that. Now, it's men that, like, it's somebody for everybody. And I'm not saying because you are a obese person that you can't get nobody. No, actually, obese people, I see them with very beautiful wives. Obese women got, masculine husbands that's, cut and stuff like that. So it's not over if you obese, but also you got to learn to love yourself. And one thing, and that's why I'm going to go into the scriptures after I do all this, loving yourself and renewing of your mind. She wants to be accepted by everyone else, but she never accepts herself. So everybody is now going on the tirade on this woman, but that was all due to her. It wasn't anything else. That was all due to her. So the blame have to be on her for the fat shame. So definitely what I'm going to do, is go into some scripture definitely right now because it's needed. I haven't been on here in a while and I see some people joining. Thank you. But yeah, and this is, I usually do this for playback, but I definitely glad to see everybody on here joining me right now. I think I lost. Let me see. I think hopefully I ain't had to lose them scriptures. Oh, here we go. So today we're going to talk about renewing of the mind. And let me build this up before I go into it. Everything that you need is inside you. Every morning I do affirmations. I do wealth affirmations. I do sales affirmations. Every day I do weight loss affirmations. And at work, I'm going to start doing before and after pictures. Like I look at myself last year and how much body fat I lost this year. And I still got a long way to go. I'm like, wow, these affirmations work. The reason I do affirmations, because now everything that God has in you, it's got to be unlocked through you. I can't have, Patricia Williams or my cousin Clarence Byer or Kyrie or Christina esteem me more than I esteem myself. I'm just using that as an example. You can say, Tim, you great. Tim, you losing weight. Tim, you doing this. Tim, you doing that. But if I don't feel it in my spirit and in my heart, and I didn't renew my mind, nothing is going to manifest for you. And that means wealth, your job, your family. Nothing is going to manifest for you. It took me 35 years of life. I'm 36 now, but it took me till I got 35 to have that revelation. Like, wow, you need to unlock this stuff with your mind. The mind is a terrible thing to waste. One of the video games I used to play heavy was Mortal Kombat. I know this got nothing to do, but Mortal Kombat always had subliminal messages like between rounds. They used to have this message like before you fight, whatever, there is no knowledge that is not power. And I'm like, why are they putting this in the game? Like, why? This ain't got nothing to do. I just want to fight Sub-Zero. But now that as a man, now I'm thinking about it, because I don't, I play video game, but not limit. I'm more so reading and stuff now. There is no knowledge that is not power. So the way to free yourself is by expanding your mind, changing your mind state, praying to God, but God gave you all the tools in here to change your reality. He also say life and death is in the tongue. He gave you everything in here to change and to speak your reality. You want things to change, you got to speak it first. You got to live it first. You got to know it first. That's when things is manifesting. I haven't been on here in a while because things has been rolling for me, man. And I'm like, I still got to be tuned to, doing this ministry, because I'm like, people got to know this. Everybody not talking about this. Everybody not talking about the tongue. Everybody not talking about mindset. Everybody not talking about economic development. Everybody ain't talking about freeing yourself and saving yourself. This is what you got to do. And excuse me for going too much on celebrities. I don't talk celebrity. That's not what I do. I'm not TMZ. But I'm saying that and using the lady as an example of someone who wants these worldly accolades. But the only accolades you get is the ones you get yourself. You see these things on the wall, that's just paper. Yes, it was accomplishment. It took years and hours of study just to put paper on my wall. That's insane. But when I unlock my mind, I'm like, oh no, I had this knowledge already. I had it already. I just had to unlock it. I just had to, get to the scripture. So let's get to the scripture. The first one, I'm going to break them down. I'm going to do like at least 2 or 3. Like I said, it's going to be a little long video. Bear with me. Romans chapter 12, verse 2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. I'm going to read that again. Romans chapter 12, verse 2. Do not be conformed of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God and what is good and acceptable and perfect. Basically, you cannot be conformed by this world, but you got to transform your mind, because this world want accolades. This world is gonna, because everybody is selfish in a way. No one wants to see you succeed. No one wants to see you really get to your whole manifestation. Excuse me. I don't know why I couldn't say it's still the morning. No one wants to see that. You got to see that for yourself. You got to see that for yourself in order to get where you need to go. That's where the renewing of your mind is. That's where we're on, and testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. So only you know what you need to do for your life. Not your mom, not your dad, not your cousins, not your uncles, not your teachers, you. Now in order to get some things in this life, we got to go to, worldly school systems. But what's more important than these degrees in my back? My vision right there. That's what's more important. My vision, me speaking these affirmations, and it's coming true. I've got that vision board in the background for a reason. I look at it. I need to look at it every day. I'm not going to lie to you, but I look at it so often, and surely my visions are coming to pass. They're coming to pass. You got to unlock this thing with your mind. You got to say affirmations. I don't care if you say every day, 20 times a day, I will lose weight. I will lose 20 pounds. I will lose 20 pounds. I will lose 20 pounds. You know what's going to happen? That thing is going to rerun in your mind. And that by the time you know it, you're going to lose 30 pounds. Like, wow, this really worked. Affirmations like, I'm the slimmest and healthiest I ever been in my life. My businesses bring me huge amounts of money. This is what I tell myself. Renewing of your mind. Let me go into another scripture because I don't want to be losing people, but Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. Finally, brethren, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is any worthy of praise, think about these things. Renewing of your mind. Let me go through it again. Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellent, if there is any worthy of praise, think of these things. So what is the scripture saying here? Whatever is excellent, whatever is true, whatever is good, think of these things. If we have these negative things in our minds, let me tell y'all something. Let that Trump stuff go. Let that Obama stuff go. That stuff, you gotta let it go. Let it go. Is already in motion. Renew your mind. There is no person holding you down. Black men in particular. When you get up out of bed, there is no physical white man holding you down. You can do the limits. The sky is the limit. You just gotta think about it. And let's go for any race, but I'm talking more so to the black man. There's nobody holding you down. And if it is somebody in your room, when you wake up, you better knock them down because nobody can hold you from your destiny. When you look in the mirror, that's the one that's holding you down. That's the one that's stopping you from doing the things that you need to do. You, not anybody else, you. We always like to blame people, blame the president, blame this, blame black women. No, it's you. It is you. It's always been you. That's why you got to renew your mind. I used to want to blame my parents. I used to want to blame everybody else, but it was me until I had to unlock with the scriptures. Then I realized okay, they don't have my best interests at heart. They not riding for me. I need to ride for me, and black race, we are more subject. We want to romanticize. And can I really speak real to y'all for a minute? Can I speak real? And I don't want to make anybody mad with this one. But one thing about it, I'm not going to discredit what Barack Obama did good. He did some good things and some things he did questionable. But I think as a race of people, instead of looking more into the policies, romanticize his marriage. And people took his marriage as a symbolism instead of the policies. Now, you can get mad at me if I say that, but you cannot romanticize relationships in the middle of discord in your mind. Can't romanticize that. Relationships is going to come. I am not a relationship guru. I'm in a relationship, but I am not a relationship guru. I have to work towards my relationship every day. It is not an easy thing. It is not. And I'm telling you from me. And I'm not saying I have no problem in it, but some days it's challenging. But this is where the renewal of my mind comes in. Do not romanticize relationships when you go into mental discord. That's when you have to, if you're going through something mentally, if you're going through something physically, if you overweight, that's when, actually, to be honest, you need to be alone before you need to love yourself. And I had to learn that. Actually, to be honest, my relationship got better when I started loving myself. My relationships got better with people when I started loving myself. When I started looking into self and being accountable for self. I know of a man can account, but because he got his own accountability that he, got to do. So I need to start being accountable for self. That's why my relationships with people and things and, just got better. Because I used to always have this tag on myself like I didn't care about myself. But that's where the renewing of your mind comes in. I'm going to go to another scripture. I'm going to feed y'all today, man. Go to another scripture. Romans chapter 12, verse 1, verse 2. It appears to you, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship. Do not be conformed of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. By testing, you may discern what is God and what is good and acceptable and perfect. Actually, that's the same scripture I just read, but I just read Romans chapter 1 through 2. I forget. Yeah, I read it again, but this is good. I did it more in context. So you have to present your body as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable. How do you do that? And it says, do not conform to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Do you know things happens when you renew your mind? What's going on, Randy? What's going on, Quana? Katrina, what's going on? And a lot of people looking at this, but things happen when you renew your mind. Things is happening when you renew your mind. It's more so for you. Like, you got to love yourself, man. And earlier today, people just coming on, I was talking about the Usher Accuser, the obese woman that came out trying to seek fame and fortune, but she did more discredit to herself by putting herself out there. Then more harm came from it than good. And the reason I say that is because people are in their ignorance. And trust me, I lived it. Living with that obesity, people don't treat it. I was fit one point, I was obese the next. I was, all my life I struggled with being fit, obese, but then I had to unlock it. I had to say, whoa, Tim, how are we going to lose this weight? So I had changed my whole diet, more fish-based, but more plant-based. And I'm seeing like little by little, inches and inches is coming off. It's going to take probably me another year, maybe, not thinking that, maybe another 6 months or so, because I'm just changing my diet to really see the results. But I'm working hard at it, and I'm seeing results every day. But I had to love myself to get to that point. All right, it's 24 minutes in, so probably give you guys a couple of more scriptures and wrap it up. I knew it was going to be like a half an hour, but that's because, like I said, I haven't been on the whole week. I've been busy. I didn't even cut my hair. I need to, as soon as I get done this video, that's why I try to wear the hat. I'm gonna cut my hair. But anyway, let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 16. So we do not lose heart through our outer selves is wasting away. Our inner selves is being renewed day by day. Okay, I like this. For 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 16. So we do not lose heart through our outer selves is wasting away. Our inner selves is being renewed day by day. And I'm actually going to end with this one because this is perfect. I'm going to break this down and show you what God is saying. we do not lose heart through our outer selves is wasting away. So every day, what's going on, Kim? Every day, our outer selves, we get older. We might lose a step. What they said, people be time, but actually with proper diet and exercise, you can't lose a step. Me doing insurance, I see a lot of attractive women that's in their 50s and 60s right now. They taking care of themselves. A lot of, guys are taking care of themselves at 50 and 60. They look like they can still play NFL football. The thing is, but with our outer selves, we get old. Everybody get old. Everybody, at one point is going to feel the effects of being older. But it says our inner selves is being renewed day by day. What did God mean by that? Changing your mind. You get better. And I'm going to give credit. I used to go to this church called Harvest Time Christian Fellowship. Now, that's the church I kind of, not too good with, but I do give him credit. One thing the pastor says, he says that the way he talked about renewing the mind, but in my immaturity, I didn't know what he was talking about. It's kind of the same thing I'm talking about. He said it's not explosive, it's implosive. And what he mean that everything in the inside got to change first so it can push through the outside. With weight loss, you got to do the cardio, you got to do this. Everything is tightened up in the inside first. Everything, your stomach is shrinking in the inside. Your face is shrinking in the inside first. So when your outer appearance be like, oh, Tim, you look great. But it all starts from the inside. That's what y'all got to do. Everything is in the inside. That's when I was saying everything that's in you is in you. Everything that God has for you, it has you. So you do not lose heart through your outer self is wasting away. But our inner self is being renewed day by day. You want that job, it's already inside you. You want that promotion, it's already inside you. Ladies, you don't have to, everybody was like, well, you got too much standards. Keep your standards high. Keep your standards high. You know why? Because if you keep your standards high, then you be with the man you want. You're going to attract what you want. Kim, I'm not going to put you on the spotlight, but we're going to put you on the spotlight a little bit. Kim works out. She works out. She's very a fit woman. So what she's doing from the outside in, don't know if she's in a relationship or not. Just know that she's my Facebook friend, and I'm not. But she can get the guy desired, what you want. But everything came from the inside of Kim. She, probably just eating well, looking right and stuff like that. Because of the way she is, now she's going to attract, if she hasn't attracted already, somebody that accommodate what she is. You can only attract what's in the inside of you. If you, and I'm not like to my obese friends, and like I said, I'm a big guy too. If we feel like we obese and we like, oh man, ain't nobody gonna like me this way, you gonna attract what you are up here and what you are in here. That's what you're gonna attract. Yeah, you're right, Kim. It's starting with the mindset. Sorry to use you as an example, but I'm just saying you are what you attract. But if you start working out, you start losing weight, you start feeling good in the inside, no one's out your reach. Some people might say, hey, that girl, she not on, you're not on her level. Why not? I am on her level. You know why? I have 2 businesses. I live alone. My mama ain't upstairs. This house is all mine. I'm losing weight. No one is above me because I love me. And I'm working out. I'm getting my body right. Oh, that's wifey right there. I'm gonna call her later because I want to finish this video. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Everything comes from the inside. Don't lower your standards. Raise your consciousness. Don't lower your standards. Raise what you're going to do. Do not lower your standards. You don't have to lower your standards. All you got to do, like Kim said, start from the mindset. Okay, am I the person that I want to attract? Then you start molding yourself. By the time you do that, same thing with me. You attract the person that you want. I'm not at my goal as far as weight, But my helpmate is beautiful, slim, natural, smart. She honors me, she respects me, and she helped me with my business endeavors. And that's a part of my affirmations because I speak that into my life. And that's the type of helpmate that I have. So it all comes from the mind. Everything is not, don't lower your standards. Don't just be with someone that you don't want to be. Will it into your life. Speak it. But also be whoever you want to be with. You be that person first. It all comes from within you. It all comes from within you. The renewing of your mind. That's why I gave you those scriptures. And that's why I use that woman as the catalyst, because she still thinks that you could get notoriety from this internet and stuff like that. Listen, I know I do these. This will go viral one day. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but I'm going viral for a different purpose, to wake up the mind. To wake up the mind. You have to wake up. Everything is within you. God unlocked everything in you. And I'm going to leave you guys with this. One song I used to be offended by was JC, New York State of Mind. When he said two lyrics, Jesus can't save you. Life begins when the church ends. And I'm like, yo, Jay-Z bugging. I'm like, why would he say that? You know what I mean? I love Yahshua. I love the people of God. Why would he say that? But I understand now everything he said. Let me break it down. And I'm going to leave y'all guys with this. He said, Jesus can't save you. Now, when he said that, he wasn't talking about your soul or your salvation. He wasn't talking about that. I thought he was talking about that. I'm like, well, what do you mean Jesus can't save you? Yes, Jesus is the truth, the way to the life. The only way you get to the Father is through him. But when he said that, this is what he meant. Now, I could be wrong. We are looking for Christ to be the answers to all of our problems. When he said in the scripture, I left the comforter with you, the Holy Spirit. You have that within you. He left the comforter. Yeah, he saved your soul. You believe in him, but he left the comforter. Basically what Jesus was saying, everything, I'm dead and gone, but I left something in you so you can save yourself. Now listen to me. I'm not saying you can save yourself, your soul, but I'm talking about while you're on this earth, you don't have to live in poverty. You don't have to. That's what people want you to think. You don't have to live in lack. God gave you everything you need in here and your heart, the heart and the brain. You have to will, and the tongue. You have to will your life into existence, or you will always be at the bottom of everything. You got to love yourself more than anybody in this natural world. It comes from your mind and it comes from your tongue. And then he says, life begins when the church ends. So then I was like, why would he say that? Why would Jay-Z say that? This is what Jay-Z meant. He ain't saying he wants to destroy the church. He wants to destroy the mindset of the church. Now, I attend a church. I do. And I attend the church because I want this church to grow, because these are some good people, that's pastoring the church. But when Jay-Z said this, he's talking about the mentality of some of these mega churches. He said life begins when the church ends, because a lot of people are lost in these churches. Like I said before, the church makes $14 million, the black church, a Sunday. Since 1980 to August 2017, the church has made over $480 billion, and I'm talking about the black churches. There is no reason that we should not have hospitals, schools, apartment buildings for the sick, rehab centers, and things like that. But I believe because churches are 503Cs, I might have to, this is my belief now, I'm going to have to research because I don't never want to say anything out of ignorance. The churches can't have these organizations. So who gets wealthy off this? I'm going to say, I don't want to say 9 times out of 10. Let's say 5 times out of 10. We'll do half. 5 times out of 10, most pastors are getting rich from the church. So grandma is given 10% of her Social Security check. You're given 10% of your check. The billionaire is giving 10% of his wealth to the church, which is supposed to spread out to the community. The reason JC said life began when the church in, because like I said, I'm gonna say 5 out of 10. I'm not gonna say all, because I'm gonna stop doing that, because I never visit every church across America. 5 out of 10. I can say 5 out of 10 because I'm gonna say, a little bit, probably a little bit more than half, get this wealth and not giving back to the community. I got mad at Creflo Dollar because College Park, Georgia is one of the poorest ghettos in the United States. How come you need a $65 million jet? Why can't you invest $65 million back into the community where they can have jobs and resources? According to this money, it should not be a broke Christian out there, black nor white. And that's the only thing I'm hiding. So now I understand why Jay-Z said those 2 things. And I might be wrong because I didn't have no personal conversation with Jay-Z. But I'm understanding because Jay-Z put a lot of subliminals in. So if we come together, we have the wealth. Forget, not discredit Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Oprah. As a people, we have the wealth. But it's in our mind. Sometimes some of these church systems got our minds locked up where we cannot flow in our abundance. Remember, the meek shall inherit the earth. You are already millionaires in the making. Just got to unlock it. You have your ideal spouse in the making. You just got to speak it. Nothing is going to come to you unless you love yourself. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I spoke a little bit long. Thank you for, joining me on this. The replay will be on here. If you want to go to my YouTube channel, it's T Lawson 1981 on YouTube. Then I got this and more of the videos that I made on here. I will put the link in the comments below. You guys have a blessed morning. I need to cut my hair. You see, I'm woofing. But you guys have a blessed morning. Peace.